a traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
Oh, watch my ass get into the camera frame.
Ooh, that's a butt.
That's a butt. You're lucky I'm wearing pants. We're at my own house.
Saw what you had for dinner last night.
I'll tell you what. Oh, that chair leg is loose. I got to be honest with you. Way more professional setup at Mike Studios than what we got going on here at home. Good golly, Miss Molly.
I wish you could see the whole thing. This is just the production suite. I also can't see you. Mark's still on his like.
Oh, Mark's box is still open?
His box is still open.
Mark, close your box. Oh, he closed his box. Oh, thank you. I can see. I don't know how much of me you need to see, but.
Well, you won't be able to see you at all.
This feels like the first Zoom calls. Remember during the pandemic where you're like, I'm going to have a drink with my friend in front of my computer. Remember that? And then you would do it, and you're like, it was the first 15 minutes of just staring at each other's foreheads and going, oh yeah, this is just like having them in the room.
And they were riddled with technical difficulties.
Yeah, and that one guy had no pants on, Jeffrey Tubin. That's what I had to warn you of here. Of like we were setting up, and I'm like, hey, the mics are hot, so don't yell your racial slurs. That this one just yells racial slurs throughout the house. That's why she wanted to move out here. She didn't want the neighbors to hear all these horrible things she's yelling.
Yeah.
You should just tell her there's mics everywhere. Just tell her there's mics all over the house.
Yes. Yeah. It's a. Who's the guy I'm reading? The regular Ernest Hemingway over here.
Right. We're doing Hemingway too.
Are you
reading,
really?
I just started. What's the war one?
For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is
For Whom the Bell Tolls,
Metallica, which is also a Metallica song. I think Ernest Hemingway wrote it after he heard the Metallica song.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, I should write a song. I should write a book about this badass song about a war."
Hey guys, I got to rejoin. It's kicking me out. Hold on.
Yeah, come back whenever. This is. Let me tell you something, you guys. I don't know if you can tell by looking at the footage if you're watching this on YouTube, but for the amount of time that was spent to put this studio together, Emma and I shouldn't look like we've been captured by ISIS and we're reading demands to our family. But here we are.
Yeah.
This is what
it does look like a beheading video.
We spent so much time setting. I think I'm clipping. Oh, that's another thing I have to deal with. I don't know how to do it. Whatever. If I'm clipping, I'm clipping. I'll tell you what to
look. I'll say this once, and then I'll never say it again, just for the sake of sanity.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have left New York, guys.
I know.
Should have stayed here with the big guy.
You run a professional studio. You just moved into a new space, and I'm sure it's running at 100%. And I know you're not even done yet, but I'm sure like the quality of what you're doing is way better than what we're doing here.
Well, I say that more because I wanted to hang out more.
I mean, that's what that's what I wanted.
We had a good.
Nobody drinks whiskey as much as I know you do, and we never got a chance to really get blasted.
Everyone's sober now. If you're doing dry January, shut up about being boring. You don't have to tell people. Like we were watching the local news before we started setting up this disaster, and they were like, you know how morning news, they just bring on anybody to talk. Like they brought me on to promote my shows. Like that's the kind of stuff they do on the morning news. But they're like, a lot of people are doing dry January. So we brought a health expert on to talk about the benefits. You don't need to talk. It's poison. So obviously not drinking poison for a month is going to make it better. You don't need someone with glasses and a clipboard to tell you that.
Yeah, I think anybody could be like, I'm an expert and say, so how do you lose weight? Eat right, exercise.
I quit.
That's the only answer.
There's no magic.
I read a book called The Magic Pill because I'm thinking about taking a GLP-1.
Which is?
And
Ozempic?
Like Ozempic.
Ah.
And the guy was basically like, he opens the book. He's a journalist. And it's a really fascinating read. But he said, hey, before I start this book, I just want to let everyone know, like, eat right exercise is the real only answer here. But Let's talk about the history of medication and how that looks.
But if you happen to live next to a Wiener Schnitzel, let me help you out. If you're going to be sucking down hot dogs, how are you doing there, Emma?
These stands are dog.
Yeah, they're the worst. They're the worst stands known to man. All the equipment is the worst. I just clipped again because I raised my voice. I feel like we're having an argument, and you're like,
It sounds good on my end though, so I don't hear clipping.
I just realized it's like when we're having an argument, and you're like, don't yell. And I'm like, that wasn't me yelling. That's like what it feels like when I hear clipping in the headphones, and then the headphones are like, don't yell. And I'm like, I'm not yelling. I'm being passionate. That's what's happening right now. I'm being censored by my own.
This does feel like I'm your therapist in the So, Emma, how do you feel about him saying that you yell at him all the time?
Not
What does that
good.
make you feel?
Not good.
More words. Say how you
I don't know how
feel.
I feel.
That's okay.
It is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, oh, don't yell. And you're like, oh, but you get to yell. And then I'm like, then you're like, don't change the
All right,
subject.
Zoltan, we're getting a little too deep and personal.
Well, we're just talking about relationship
Just 'cause we're at
yelling.
home, we don't have to expose all our home secrets.
That's true. I just feel very comfortable at home. Like, also, I'm so jealous of Mike. Looks like his background is in an alien
He
spaceship.
looks like he's in a spaceship.
yeah, just blue.
What color do you think it should be?
No, blue's
Name it.
great.
Well, name a color.
Pink.
Pink. Why would someone say pink when I could do pink?
This looks great. I feel like we have a urinal shot from a nightclub, and Mike's taking a pee, and this is the angle from his beer on top of the urinal.
The shortest person ever.
Anyway, it's been the move has, not that you asked, but the move. I'm going to start talking. Welcome, Miso.
Yeah.
This is going to be the magic of doing the podcast at home. This is going to happen. Miso's going to come in and just be a cat and be like, "Well, nothing's going. Why don't you come on in, sweetheart? Get all the way comfortable." I can hear
She put her head right into your lap and went, "No."
Daddy doesn't wipe properly. It's so gross.
We're back.
And we're back. Thank you, Miso.
We're back to annoying Emma.
I've been annoying her since we moved here because all I complain about since we moved into this place is how I have to take care of the trash now. In New York, we had a Puerto Rican man named Kenny who would yell, but he did his work.
Yeah.
He would yell and complain, but he did all of his work. He put the trash together, put it out on the street for the trash people to come. Now I'm Kenny, and I got to deal with the most amount of cardboard I've ever dealt with in my entire life. And I hate it. I just complain, and you never got it. And then yesterday you helped me tear down the cardboard, and you're like, this is ridiculous.
It's
And
so
I'm like,
hard.
this is what I've been dealing with for a month.
Yeah.
It's just cardboard everywhere. And they don't even come by and take recycling every week, Mike. These left-leaning California libs won't even come get their paper goods every week. They gotta wait every 2 weeks.
And they're not even recycling it properly. They're just throwing it into the Santa Ana winds, hoping it catches fire.
That's what
Are you guys experiencing any of that?
No, thankfully, knock on all the wood. I just hit the microphone. But yeah, all that stuff's going on in LA. We're watching it go down. And they just can't stop. I don't know what it is about fires and natural disasters. They can't stop having press conferences. Like, you don't need a press conference. We're watching it on the news. Pick
up a hose.
Yeah, I think the only reason they have press conferences is so the mayor can show off the tactical mayor's jacket. That's my favorite part of natural disasters is the mayor will put on like a military grade jacket and he'll still say mayor on it.
And his name.
Yeah, and his name and then mayor. And then like he's going to be out there with a shovel like clearing debris.
Yeah, like he's a cop. He tries to cross over the lines and he goes, "Hey, mayor." Okay.
It's like the host of the Golden Globes did a costume change.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I better get out of the... That's my favorite when politicians have to enter a natural disaster. There's the great picture of DeSantis wearing his like knee-high boots and you could still see his fat ass, like, because he's wearing these tight pants and these stupid knee-high boots, like he's going to be rescuing people from the bayou. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he looked down and they were like, "Oh, what's with your waiter boots?" He goes, "Yes, that's what these are. It's not what I was wearing already."
Oh, I love that kind of stuff. And then they got to stand next to the sign language interpreter, which all those people had to be ex-theater kids. They are so expressive.
They're so dramatic.
They've definitely taken improv 101 at the Groundlings, because it's all sassy and I'm like, I know a lot. I've seen two people communicate via sign language, and they are not that. It's like they're doing baseball signals. And
I have to imagine that there's like whispering in sign language, right? Like if you're telling a secret, it's. But if you're screaming at somebody, that's when you're like.
Yeah, it's so boom, boom. And we've watched so many press conferences because of the LA fires. I've seen 4 interpreters, and they are all very, very expressive. And I guess maybe that's just to highlight the gravity of it. It's kind of like when you see a tweet in all caps, you're like, oh, this person means it because they're yelling. So they're like, please evacuate. And it's a big get out of here, you know?
My cousin lives in Marina Del Rey.
Ooh.
And I texted him. I said, "Hey, is everything all right? Are you good?" He goes, "Yeah, it's my best friend's house just burnt down. But we're good. I didn't know." And then he goes like this. This is my favorite part. He goes, "Oh, you guys have it on the news out there? I didn't realize it was that big of a story." I go, "The whole city's ablaze. You don't think that it would have made the final remarks of 60 Minutes? Like, you don't think it would have shown up? Everyone's dying."
The Hollywood sign's on fire while Pauly Shore's hanging on to the O. Like, it made the news.
Yeah, like my mom's in Toronto, and she messaged me and she's like, "There's a brush fire near you. Are you guys okay?"
Yeah.
We didn't even know about this brush fire.
There was I think someone's grill tipped over in San Diego, and it caught like a bush on fire. And I think your mom has like San Diego news alerts set on her phone. And she's like, "What's going on with the brush fire?" And we're like, "Where?" And it says Kensington. And then I'm like, "Oh, we used to live in the Kensington neighborhood." And you had to Google it. You had to scroll for a while. And you're like, "Oh, there was a brush fire for a second." They didn't even send a news van out there. Yeah. I don't know how she found out about this brush fire, but that's a mom for you.
That is my mom.
Yeah, she loves you. She loves us. I'm going to put me in that category.
She does. I think she loves you a little bit more.
It's parents' jobs. That's their job.
Yeah.
Is to look at the news and be scared for their kids.
Yes.
That's true.
It's my dad's favorite thing. "How's it going in New York? I hear it's a war zone." I'm like, what are you watching?
I got to be honest with you. In the month that we've moved, all I see is New York news. And I'm like, I'm glad we got the hell out of there. Someone got lit on fire. They like tipped a subway car over or something. I don't know. You see all that stuff, and then you forget that you used to live in this big city where nothing happened in your vicinity. But yeah, someone did get lit on fire on the subway.
Somebody got pushed a guy got pushed in front of a train the other day
and survived, right?
Yeah, and I don't like to blame victims. I think that victim blaming is not smart.
Here we go.
But we can learn from victims, right? Like, he was standing toes to the edge, feet together, no bracing of himself, like this. Buddy, it's not your fault that you got pushed, but it's your fault that you fell. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have some awareness.
Yeah.
If that guy was an animal and was on the Serengeti, he'd be that gazelle drinking from the pond, and then
still the last one.
Yeah, the last one, and then nothing but crocodile eyeballs coming from the water, and he's like, "What?" And then we just watch him get eaten, and you're like, "Yeah, you were." Yeah. I think that person would have had that issue no matter what kind of animal they were. Are they about to kick you off again?
It doesn't say. It just says that I'm going to be stopped at 15 minutes, but we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what, Riverside, I'm paying top dollar to have this low budget production streamed over the internet. You better get it together, or otherwise.
I'm getting low quality production from a low budget production. This is crazy.
It is weird. I don't know what I was expecting. Like once I got all this set up, I thought we would look like you look, and meanwhile, it just looks like a lava lamp broke behind us. Like like there's some weird ooze is coming up from the back corner, and we're like, we got
the
these.
light above you and then from behind, like above and behind, because then it's
Is that
like
better?
No,
I just look like I'm looking for stains at a hotel. That's all this looks like.
Coming up on Dateline.
Murder.
Was there blood in the curtains?
Or was this a rekindling of lost lovers? Here you
That's
go.
so funny.
Do you like this? Is it better like this? There you go.
It's still tight. I mean, a light is better than no light.
Nah, now it's all glowy. Look at that.
It looks like you spilled a ecto cooler on yourself.
Yeah, it looks like
You think you're cool? Think you're so cool with your green? Check me out.
Looks like we're in Chernobyl. We're coming straight from the spill. Anyway, how was your holidays, buddy? We haven't talked. In case anyone's wondering,
Yeah,
we haven't even caught up. Like, what'd you guys do for Christmas? How was your Thanksgiving?
we've been just standard texting. No full catch up.
Yeah.
What? I don't even remember Thanksgiving. Do I? The hell did I do Thanksgiving? I think I did something.
We went to Arizona. That's what we did.
Yeah.
I remember that. I got to meet Randy Johnson, the baseball player.
The big unit?
The big unit came to my show.
Or
and
the unit?
the big unit. I almost called him the Big Hurt like 4 times because that was another baseball player from his era, Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. And I almost called him the Big Hurt 4 times. And I'm like, no, this guy's the unit. The other guy's the Hurt. And
So he came to a show? Is he a fan? That's so cool.
my manager met him doing something and then was like, hey, do you want to come to the show? And he was like, sure. So he came with his girlfriend and they were in the green room and I'm just hanging out with a baseball legend. And he loves photography. That's what he's into.
Yeah, he's like a wildlife photographer now, isn't he?
Wildlife. He loves shooting bands. So like in the 90s, if you listen to him talk about his career, it sounds like baseball was just something he had to do so he could get into photography. Like the camera equipment was that expensive that he's like, I got to go play 22 years at MLB so I can get the, And so he was like big into music. So we were just talking like 90s grunge era. And he just talked about it was really awesome. He talked about music and photography. And I was just standing there trying to be in the conversation because I'm like, how do I not bring up the bird? He killed a bird. Like,
What?
Remember I showed you the video? He killed that bird. He was like throwing a pitch,
Oh.
and then the bird flew in front of it, and the
Oh.
bird exploded.
I haven't seen that.
I thought I showed it to you.
No.
Oh,
Picture it in your head. It's exactly that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A bird fully exploded.
yeah.
Oh,
This
really?
bird. By the way, that guy that got shoved onto the subway tracks, if he was a bird, he would have been the bird that got hit by that pitch. Because it's like the one place you shouldn't swoop was right where Randy Johnson was throwing his heater.
Now, this is something I've always thought about Randy Johnson, and maybe you can confirm this.
Yeah.
Does he eat chicken wings, bone and all? I feel like he just kind of eats a wing like yoink, like we eat a potato chip.
No, I didn't see him eat any wings. I wish I did. I bet you, I bet you he feels self-conscious eating chicken in public at any time.
I'm sure. Yeah,
he can't just be like, I'll have he can't be caught in a Chick-fil-A drive-through line. He always has to go do In-N-Out.
Is this like a rumor that went about, or?
No, it's because he killed that bird.
Oh.
We're still talking about the bird.
Oh.
Oh, I remember what I did for Thanksgiving. That reminded me. We were at a friend's house. It was awesome.
Oh, nice.
It
That's
was
what we
fantastic. We just went to a friend's house, talked a bunch of comics,
did. It's wonderful.
talking hell. One of them's got a little baby. She's adorable. It was great.
Nice.
Christmas was fine. Little family drama. I was up with my fiance's family up in Maine. We went to Bar Harbor, Maine, which is really fun. But there was some tension.
I love it.
because there's a lot going on. But 7 people, 4 are sober. So we were white knuckling it.
Was that the argument?
No, but like that created, I think, more tension than necessary. So it was like the non-sober people were being respectful and not drinking, which is fine.
Right.
I did sneak a little white wine into a recipe because I was cooking all weekend. So when I was buying wine to cook with, I was like, this one looks like it's drinkable, and then I would
No one will
slip it
know.
in. Yeah. So I slipped it into my seltzer. So I had myself a little spritz, and nobody knew.
That's really funny.
But it was kind of, the newer sober people were. It was just like, oh, we just got sober type of thing, and like, how do we do Christmas sober? How do we do long? And then it was also like a 10-day trip. It was just like, we got to get out of here.
Oh yeah, it's.
I love her family. Like
Right.
they're all awesome people, but it's just, when you put that people in that environment, you're just like they were fighting, and then parents and the kids were arguing, and then it's just like weird. Just got strange.
And then Mike's there, just a giant amongst giants, probably.
Yeah, just deep frying oysters or I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I was just covered in sauce the whole time.
Like when I'm around sober people, I'll still drink, but I downgrade it. Like, I'll keep it to a beer and wine,
Yeah.
like, but I won't pull out the hard stuff. There's no whiskey,
Every time I went to because in Maine, I guess you can sell booze in the supermarkets.
Nice.
And so I'd go make a run for food, and I'd pass by this full row of just like cheap booze, and I'm just like, maybe I have a problem. Like it was like I would start itching. Like I'd walk by and I would just start looking at bottles. Oh, look at that. So these two little old ladies asked me, they were like, excuse me, you look like you know what kind of alcohol to put into eggnog. I was like, first of all, thank you. Second, how much time you got? Because I can run through this whole thing. I got nowhere to be. And can I kiss you afterwards? I need some alcohol in me right now. But it's cool. Bar Harbor's awesome. We loved it.
I liked Maine. We went to Portland, Maine, and we had a
Yeah.
good time.
I like Portland too.
It felt like a real authentic city in the sense that like even the people that weren't dangerous still kind of looked dangerous. Like everyone, it was like the movie, The Perfect Storm, where they were off the coast. I don't even know if that was but it was in that region, the New England region. But everyone looked like they just came out of a bar, and they looked like they could have had syphilis, like a little bit, like a healthy amount. Like the healthy amount. You know how you're like not supposed to do steroids, but if you take a little bit, it's kind of good for you.
Yeah.
Just a
Gloucester, Mass. That's where it was set. But Portland seems like the kind of town that they haven't turned it into Austin yet.
Yes.
But it's like they're just like the scouts are like thinking about it.
It has the recipes to be the next Austin
yeah.
because it has a bunch of cool old buildings. We stayed at that nice hotel, but it wasn't expensive. They have the makings. People like lobster rolls, not really my thing, but people were super into it. Yeah.
Cheap seafood. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, that was kind of our holidays too. We went friends for Thanksgiving.
I didn't ask.
He's so proud
How was
of
your guys'
himself.
holiday? I was about to ask because when I was done with mine, I was going to say, "How was yours?" But then you did it, and so now I had to make it a bit.
We stayed with some friends in Phoenix, and we did Thanksgiving out there, and it was awesome. It really let me know what I like doing. I like to drink around a fire pit in someone's backyard, and that's where I was dancing, having a badass time. Because the next day I went and got a haircut, and some cool young kid gave me a haircut, and he messed up my sideburns. It's already grown back, but like he gave me weird sideburns where he made it look like I have a mullet, but there's no mullet. And while he's cutting my hair, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is a good neighborhood. A lot of sweet clubs. You go to the nightclubs." And I was just like, "Yeah," because I'm not going to tell him I don't. But I was just remembering 12 hours before just dancing around a fire pit, like hammered on wine, and there's only 4 of us. And that's the most free that I've ever danced in my entire life.
And not to mention we took a nap.
Yes, we took a nap at the Thanksgiving.
Nobody took a nap.
Nobody took a nap. We started, the day started at noon, food was ready at 3, and at 4, everyone was laid out in the backyard. And I'm like, why are we laying? I think you said it. You're like, why are we laying here? We have a bed right there. They gave us a room. And so we actually left the party, went and took a 2-hour nap, came back at 7, and everyone was still going. And we're like, what's up, everybody? We came out, we had like bedhead, and then we got into it again. We got second round of food and second round of drinks and second round of and we had a great time.
It's a good time.
Hey is marijuana, by the way.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Well, there's a lot you didn't know. We learned in Arizona,
Mm.
but we had a great time. That was wonderful. And then Christmas we spent here. Went to my mom's house. Got into an argument because I tried to rent a movie on Amazon Prime for $3.99, and you would have thought we were having a political argument in my mom's house. They were not having it. My mom, my brother's dad were like, "What? Don't pay $3.99 to rent Dumb and Dumber." And
Are
we
you
were like,
out of your mind?
"Are you?"
was it Dumb and Dumber?
It was Dumb and Dumber. I thought it.
I love that.
I thought it would be good to like. Emma wanted to watch it. I'm all for watching anything old, and she's like, "Can we not watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles again?" And I was like, "Fine, I'll watch."
I watched it over
Did you?
Christmas.
Good.
Oh
Good.
yeah.
It's tradition.
I know.
It's
But
like.
we watched it last year. Why don't
But-
we like alternate years?
Here's my point, though. You know, like when we go visit your mom, she makes Zedesh polo,
Polo.
Zedesh polo,
Mhm.
and then that's rice with little fruits in there that look like little cranberries, but they're not cranberries, and they're delicious. But imagine if I came back and I'm like, "But we had this last year."
It's different with food. You can't make that comparison.
But it's the same dish, but it's a movie, but you're visually eating it. You know, you're like visually watching Del Griffith and Neil Page have to interact.
But you know what's coming. At least if you wait another year, you kind of forget and the jokes are fresh. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Dumb and Dumber is one of those movies where I laugh so hard that sometimes I would miss scenes until the fifth time I saw it. Like John Denver's full of shit. I don't remember.
Such a good line.
I didn't notice that line until the fifth or sixth time I saw the movie because I was laughing so hard leading up to that I never caught that scene. And I was like, "Oh, that's super funny." And then I got a whole fresh laugh out of it. You got to milk the laughs, you know, hence this podcast. That's why we set up. You have no idea how many wires are set up to wires to set up to other things. So we can see Mike change his lights and we can try to milk the laughs out of everything we do.
I was the only one that watched Planes, Trains. Nobody watched it with me. And I caught some new ones. You can't rent a car with shower curtain rings, Del. I forgot about that line.
How upset are you that we're talking about Planes, Trains right
It's
now?
fine. It's the first episode back. Get it.
And
We barely have a show. This almost didn't happen. So
this is really just a Zoom call that I've set the cameras up weird. You're like, this is just a well-lit Zoom call is what this is.
it'll look better when it downloads, I think. Usually it does.
That's what I thought when we set up all these lights with the crap. I was like, oh, it'll look better once we put the camera on. And then we put the camera on, and I got so sad.
You were so sad.
I got so
You're
sad.
like, all this work. I'm like, I did all the work.
You did. But it was so much wires. There's so many wires that don't connect to other things, and you need a different wire. And then I had to hang an arm that holds this giant light that's right here. And then I tried to drill it in, but there's like apparently a piece of sheetrock that we can't get through. So I had to move it 6 inches over. So now there's 7 holes. And then we put a Bukowski painting over that. And I'm like, just put a painting over it. That'll be fine. It's been a comedy of errors trying to set all this up. I get why there's a local podcast studio we could use, but they want to charge $300 an episode. And
Does that include editing?
I don't think so. I think
I got up my price.
yeah, you got to up your price because you're in New York and these guys are in San Diego.
Yeah.
By the way, how many podcasts can there be in San Diego where you're charging $300? What are you making? $300 a month? How many podcasts are in San Diego?
Everyone has a podcast.
Yeah. So I didn't want to pay $300, so we set this up, and then all the work that it took to set this up, it made me appreciate what you do, and it made me understand why that guy's charging three bills an episode.
Yeah.
Buddy, I had we have some built-in cabinets that we put in. Like we turned IKEA cabinets into built-in cabinets, which I thought was going to be, okay, it was like $600 for the wood or for the IKEA, pay this other guy $600, a couple hours, whole bing, bang, boom. Buddy, I got bloody knuckles. I'm covered in paint right now. I just finished this morning. It's been about 5 straight days, $2,500 in labor for shelves. And I got nothing to put on them. This guy's name is Dmitri. He's from Russia. I said, what part? He goes, middle. And I'm glad he said that, because if he could have said a city, and unless it was Moscow, I'd have been like, no idea. Turned out to be a nice guy. He had tattoos, covered in tattoos, but I had to start like kind of looking closely, because I was like, all right, is there any kind of like weird war? You know how like a typical American who is stupid and doesn't know anything about the rest of the world? I initiated that in my head, but then I saw like a cat, musical notes. I was like, oh, this guy is great. He's not like some warlord that's trying to like infiltrate him. You know what I mean?
He's just Russian, and he loves cats, as many Russians
just Russian.
They do,
Yeah.
Turns out his wife is here on an extraordinary abilities visa, because she is apparently a very good tattoo artist, hence the sleeves.
Ah.
And then I said, well, what do you do? Well, no. At one point he goes, I can't stay past 6. I have practice. And I this sounds like a asshole accent. This is a perfect impression of him. I have practice. I said, oh, what, like soccer, football? He was dressed in all Adidas, very slim guy, not a crazy assumption. He goes, no, I am in band.
He's in a
Okay. I go, what kind of music? This is how the exact conversation went. Oh, what kind of music? Death metal. Pulls out his phone, shows me video. This guy's in a full death metal band, and he's good. He's like very good. I was like, man. Yes, I do this job to make money. Visa expensive. Didn't take one break. Didn't take a single break in 3 days, 14-hour days. Not a glass of water, not a meal. He just worked and worked and worked and worked.
Wow.
Like, man.
Good for him.
Wow.
And then at the end of it, I said, please get out of my country. Now, that's not the point. He did a great job.
Trump hates death metal. Like that's gonna be. Oh boy. Yeah.
I said, I didn't have enough cash because he worked way too long. I go, can I write you a check? He goes, no. Just so like direct about everything. He was coming back the next morning. I said, you can leave your tools here if you want. He goes, no. Okay. I mean, you don't need to say a lot to communicate in this country. No.
I think Russians might be my favorite. And I think
it's great.
Is there any group of people that's better built for the rigors and dangers and horrors of New York City than just a cold-eyed Russian? That's just
and TaskRabbit too.
That's who we had. We had, by the way, the TaskRabbit people that are in New York versus the TaskRabbit people we have in San Diego. Not even close. All right. When we hung that TV in New York, you got Voldemort to come by.
I got to choose from so many people.
And
I read reviews.
I almost booked Voldemort here. I mean, there's probably 40 of them, but
yeah. But that's the guy who hung our TV. Who's a professional.
He was so good. And then here, I don't think there's enough TaskRabbit people, so
we don't have enough rabbits.
You don't even get a choice. You get assigned a person.
Yeah.
And this guy came, and our TV's
just a kid.
Crooked now.
Yeah, our TV is
crooked TV.
Yeah, and we're trying.
And my OCD is just like in overdrive. Every time I look at the TV, I'm like, oh. But I'm getting used to it.
What you got to do is you got to put a shim under the couch so she doesn't notice. Balance it out. Don't fix the screen. Make her watch TV like this.
It's not as bad for me because I have a George Costanza like wallet, so it shifts me over, and then now everything's right where I want it to be. Yeah.
I think that was a hard candy.
Oh, I thought that was something else.
I think that was a hard candy. It's a good line. It's a good Seinfeld line. But this kid who just showed up, it took him 4 hours to hang this TV.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
And it's so weird to have someone in the house because Emma and I are just like watching him, but we're pretending to like work on the laptop, and we're just exchanging looks. We're just like,
as soon as he came in, I'm like, this kid has no idea what he's doing.
No,
he's what are those called? The levelers, the leveler thing that you have.
Oh yeah.
It's called a level.
It's called
just so you know.
Well, let's
I don't mean that to sound like I'm some sort of jackass. You said leveler. I was like, what? It's leveler.
You know what I try to do sometimes?
You nailed it.
Sometimes I try to make up a fake name for whatever she's trying to guess when she actually says the name of the product. So it's like, that leveler machine. I'm like, oh yeah, Alistair's bar. Yeah. Pull out Alistair's bar, and then she'll remember that, and she'll be like, oh, we need one of those Alistair bar things. And I'm like,
go to Home Depot and ask them for one.
I don't even want to finish my story.
No, we want to.
No, please, come on. Oh, it was the first time on this show.
Look at her hanging on for dear life.
Well, you know how it has the laser pointers in it?
Yeah.
Didn't work. The lasers were just like in and out, and I was just watching him try to level. Oh my God, what is she doing? Yeah. I miss the studio.
We miss you.
Oh. She knocked your hair in.
I'm just going to stop talking. I'm so angry. I'm going to storm out. I'm going to bed.
Emma gets interrupted by the world. Every time she wants to, this isn't just a podcast thing. We're in life. We'll be laying in bed, and I'll finish my story, and then she'll start talking, and then magically a leaf blower will start blowing right next.
Of course.
And then she's just like, I quit. So many times you just get interrupted by life.
It's true.
You'll start talking. I get a phone call. Mark's calling. And you're like, yeah. There's so many.
Yeah.
But no, so this guy's leveler, his Alistair.
He just sucked. That's all. That's all I wanted to say.
He was a sweet guy, though.
He was very nice.
Gave him 5 stars. He shouldn't be doing this line of work.
Yeah.
And hopefully he doesn't listen to the podcast.
Well, I found this out. I don't know if it's the same there, but I'm pretty sure it is, because TaskRabbit used to be a startup.
It must
where
be.
they're throwing money away, and then IKEA bought them.
Oh.
And now they have to make money. So I hired my guy at $45 an hour, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
He gets paid $45 an hour, but then when I went to check out, my rate was $68 an hour, because TaskRabbit charged me an extra 28 or 20, however many dollars per hour that goes just to TaskRabbit.
Wow.
So they're making half of what he's making for nothing.
You're just
for just connect a messaging app.
That's so crazy.
Man, who teaches these business practices? Iceberg Slim? That's a famous pimp, by the way, who put out a book. And I don't know if you guys know this, but historically, the workers for pimps were not paid a living wage or properly. They should probably get all the money for all the work they're doing. And same with TaskRabbit. They're coming out doing all the work. You just run the app.
It's the same with Uber, too.
Exactly. All of them. Uber, you should, if TaskRabbit charged you $20 just flat,
sure,
that would have been fine. But $20 an hour on top of what Voldemort's already getting, that's not, come on, you're not there.
Well, then he was like, I am making money for a visa. Can I just pay me on side? No TaskRabbit? I go, buddy, you got it.
Yes.
Also, I don't have insurance. So you're on your own. But he came in. I just paid him cash, and it was fantastic. And I didn't have to pay an extra. I paid him the amount of money I would have paid TaskRabbit total.
Right.
But I'd rather give him the money. I'm still spending the same, so I might as well give it to Dimitri.
Yeah.
He has lots of symbols to purchase.
Oh, he's a drummer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's why he's so skinny. He's a metal drummer.
Yeah, and he doesn't eat.
He can't afford it.
Yeah. Can't afford
Hey,
it.
he's buying all the symbols. You can't eat symbols. That was the thing Daryl used to say back at the shop. He would be like, we don't have insurance here at the shop, so don't get hurt. Otherwise, we got to throw you in the dumpster. That's what he would tell us. That was his pep talk in the morning. Don't get hurt, because we got a dumpster out there. That's where we throw the workers that get hurt. So, that's how it is. How long have we been recording? Because there was 15 to 20 minutes of...
It's been says 37 on my side, 36 and change.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not long enough for an episode.
What do you got? The podcast boss to?
No, I don't. I just...
Is Mark Maron going to tell you you got to work harder next time?
You know what it You know what it is?
Remember when Mark Maron was the king of podcasts, and now everyone doesn't even...
I listen.
And now it's just Joe Rogan. That's the only podcaster that exists.
If you have hair, you shouldn't be podcasting. If we can't see the vein going down the side of your head as it bulges while you talk about bear meat, That's not a genuine podcast. But you know what I noticed of things we have to change? Do you
Our
like these
chairs.
chairs?
Oh,
This hurts my
My
back.
back is breaking.
This stinks.
I can't wait for this to be over.
Oh. So are the listeners.
Man.
All right.
I don't want to. Hang on. You want to see a quick tour of the studio?
Yeah, show us. Actually, it's
Okay.
better. Try sitting like this.
This is an exclusive for the podcast. Hang on. I'm gonna lose you real quick on the mics. Let me change.
Okay.
Let's do it next time. It's gonna make me restart my whole thing.
Oh, is it?
Teaser for the next episode. You can see the new studio.
Should we show them what we have?
Yeah.
I don't trust it, but you can try.
I'll just swoop the cameras.
Just swoop it.
Yeah, swoop it. Is that a technical term? I'll
Give
do
it a little. I did this to Dimitri. I go, yeah, just cut it in the corners. Give it a little, and it'll be done. And that's the most laugh I got at him. He goes, okay. It's like, because it was like a very technical turn. He's going to have to do all this like hand work with wood. He goes, okay. Give it a little bing, bang, boom. It'll be all set.
That is actually the Spanish terms. If you work with Hispanic workers, it's give it a little. They do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I worked in a shop, it was F&M. They're like, oh, we'll just put a little F&M on it, and then it'll be fine.
What's F&M?
Magic.
Yes. It will be a clean podcast again one day. Yeah. Let me.
Sorry.
Whatever. We already said the other words. I think we had to level it out.
What are you trying to show?
I was going to show him the office.
There's nothing here.
Well, you hung this stuff on the wall.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, now I don't want to. If that's how you're going to be, I thought it was so cool. You hung all this stuff up. You made me measure it. Like, a lot of what we've been doing, getting ready for this place, is she would buy art, and then she's like, hold it up against the wall, and then I'm going to stand over there and watch it to see if I like it there. And then so I'll be holding this art, and she's like, but get out of the way. And then so now I'm off to the side, holding the art like this, and my arm's shaking. She goes, stop shaking. And I'm like, it's heavy. I got bad shoulders, and I got to hold it like this. And then she's like, higher, lower. And then I'm like, I need a break. She goes, ah. And
Making me sound like a real diva.
No, it's, you know what it is? It's because since we've moved here, you've been working your ass off to get this house in order. And then the few times you need something from me, it's just something that's like tiring. And I'm like,
My shoulder.
Yeah, I got bad shoulders. All right, I hurt my shoulder hitting the brake in the car yesterday.
Yeah.
I hit the brake and my shoulder was like, geez, I didn't even hit it that hard. I just tapped it. I got bad shoulders, Mike.
Cool.
That sounds like the end of the episode. Right?
No.
Oh, no.
I was just going to say I have bad everything.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel I'm trying to do this in the new year. I'm trying to stop turning things and making it about me. So I wanted to tell you about how my shoulders are hurting because of building stuff here. But I was like, why make it about you, Mike? Like I was the whole time you were talking, I was like, don't make it about you, Mike. Don't make it about you, Mike. Don't make it about you, Mike.
Every comedian.
Well, it's called
so.
yes-anding. We're trying to
You guys
continue
don't
the
yes
conversation.
You guys, yes, actually.
Ugh.
Yes, actually. It's true.
It is
not
true. But
You know what? That's actually true.
Because is it, by the way, if you feel comfortable saying, is that a note that your fiance gave you? Hey, you.
A note,
A note.
buddy. That was a textbook she smashed me in the head with 6 minutes after meeting her. Are you kidding? A note? It was the Gettysburg Address. Pick another big book that I don't know the answer. It was Fromm's Guide to Europe. It's every day for 2-3 years. It was every
Me
day.
and Becca have a lot in common.
Yeah,
We do.
It's so.
she's great, but my God. At a certain point, I was like, look, can we just take a break from I'm screwing up the way I talk to people? Can we not do that tonight? Love her today.
That is a note you've had from me for years. It's 5 years of stop making every story about you. And I'm like, I'm relating to you because this happened and something similar also happened to me. Exactly. And then, but so you've said that to me enough. So now you'll share something. And then my response is, And then that's my response.
My note is like, acknowledge the person for what they said and then relate. You know?
Ask questions.
Yes, ask questions.
Because what I've learned is what's really happening is that they think, Zoltan, that you are just sitting there waiting to get your thing in.
Yes.
So that means you're not listening.
Exactly.
Even though you are.
To be fair, that is what I'm doing.
You're half listening.
Yeah, of course we are.
When's it my turn to talk again?
Yeah. What am I supposed to sit here? Yeah, because do you want me to actually act the way that I'm thinking inside? Because it's going to be this. Oh, I've done that before. I've climbed a mountain. What, you're talking again? I'm kidding.
But you're not.
I'm not. But that was me actively, when you were talking about your shoulders, I was like, try it out. Just try it out.
Yeah.
Try to be a better communicator.
And then my response was, I guess that's the end of the episode.
Looks like Mike fell asleep.
That is what we're going through.
Man, it's so weird to hear your laughs in the headphones.
Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. We never wore headphones before.
I know.
Like,
I'm still getting used to it. I don't want to hear my nasally voice. I just wanted to be in a room and have a conversation.
I can't hear my voice through the headphones. I can hear your guys' voices, but I can't hear mine.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Your voice is doing good. Your voice sounds like you to me. My voice sounds like I need to speak out of the front of my mouth instead of the back of my mouth. That's what it sounds like.
But when you do speak, ask questions first. Speak as if you care about the other person.
Yes.
Listen,
You've been listening to her notes. That's really good.
I have been listening to your notes too.
I mean, I don't know if
praise me
if you knew.
You know what? I'm going to say this because
he shuts the camera off.
You know what's so funny? We live here, so one of us could storm out during any episode and just slam the door and be like, "Well, I guess they've left for the day." But I remember, like, other couples sometimes make you look like the bad person in your couple. Because we had our New Year's Eve party here, and Derek and his wife Carlin helped do the dishes at the end, and they were like cleaning up, and they took out the trash. Also, they were plastered drunk. It was New Year's, and
it blew me away.
Yeah, and you were so impressed with both of them,
yeah.
and specifically Derek, because you're like, I've seen women do this before. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a man do this before. He's like, what a good husband he is. He's great. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't even clean until 2 days after New Year's because I was so hungover for the day of. I just laid in bed and I'm like, I can't do it. And then the next day I got up and started. My New Year started the 2nd.
Remember when we tried to clean up the charcuterie boards? I was like, oh, can you just dump this in the trash? And you're like, sure. And you grab a trash bag and you dump it and all of it's on the floor.
We weren't trying to save it. I was on shrooms.
Oh my god!
I had a drink and a microdose of shrooms. I was laughing. I was trying to connect with your feelings, and you're like, no, I need you to physically put this in the trash. And I'm like, but how do you feel when you say that? Like, where is that coming from? And you're like, this is not what I need right now. Just clean. And I'm like, I don't know. What is cleaning? You know, like what is?
Oh, now you want to ask questions. Yeah. The second I need you.
Exactly.
Did you guys do New Year's at your place?
Yeah, we did it here. We did East Coast New Year's. I sent that text out to my friends as a joke. I was like, hey, why don't we do East Coast New Year's? We can all be in bed by 11. And they all responded with, that is a wonderful idea. And so we did an East Coast New Year's. By the way, did not stop any of my friends from getting too drunk. And even though we just moved the party earlier, but everyone still drank like it was New Year's at a regular time. So it kind of made no difference. But we had a blast.
Yeah. I was so drunk that I was cross-eyed by the end of the night. And not like metaphorically cross-eyed. I was getting out of a cab and I was like, come on, man. Like I had to like find my way to the stairs to get up. It was okay. You got this. Come on. I was drinking Campari vermouth and seltzer waters as if it was my last night on earth.
Wow. I only recognize one of those drinks, vermouth. I don't know what the hell Campari is. Do you know what Campari is?
Campari. You know Negroni?
Negroni, I know.
So it's the main ingredient. It's Campari, vermouth, and gin. I just took the gin out and put seltzer so I was going to be healthy about it. But then I just cleaned out a bottle of Campari and vermouth. And then beer, shot, beer, tequila, Campari, keeping it healthy.
Oh, boy.
Nothing healthy about it.
My friends drank an amazing amount of whiskey. Like, that was an amazing amount of whiskey that went away. Because there wasn't that many people here. And we went through one bottle, 2 bottles. And then there was like a quarter left of the last bottle. Mm-hmm. And then my friends need to do a dry January. But none of us are doing it. No one's doing it.
I was going to do it until last night.
What about February? It's the shortest month. That's when you should do your challenges. It's the shortest month. Do it on a leap year. You only get 28 days. And then get on with it. That's
true.
Or no, wait, that's the 29th day. Do it on a regular February. Don't do. How does leap year work?
I don't know.
You know what? This is all confusing. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just gonna have a soaking wet January.
I'm gonna wait till my kidneys burn and then I'll stop. Honestly, we got a lighting change. Is that the red?
Is that the light?
Change the ambiance.
Oh, is that the red light saying we have 5 minutes left? That's what comedians see.
Zoltan immediately starts pitching his T-shirt. Sorry, I forgot where I was.
Hey, thanks so much for coming out, you guys. After the show, I'll be in the back. If you want to come say hello, I got a T-shirt.
If you don't want to say hello, just go. Don't make it weird.
Yeah, that is what I say.
He knows the spiel.
He knows my spiel. If you don't want to say hello, trust me, I don't want to say hello to you either. So there's no pressure, but if you want to say hello, I want to say hello.
All right, you don't have
we'll
to
be
do
there
it.
to say hello. Well, once I get into the pitch, I can't break out of the pitch.
Yeah, he's got
I gotta finish the
Otherwise,
pitch.
something bad will happen.
Yeah, if you turn around 4 times this way, you got to turn around 4 times that way. Otherwise, your dad comes back. Meaning my dad.
From the dead? No, he just comes home and I'll kill him.
Yeah, and then it's bad. That's what I had a bad dream about. We hung out. I had a bad dream that I met my dad that I never met. And that's because we were having dinner with the neighbors. And they were all talking about 23andMe and learning their lineage and blah, blah, blah. And meeting cousins and brothers and what have yous. And then I was like, oh my God, what if I met my dad? And then I just had this horrible dream of meeting the guy. And then I woke up and I'm like, and then you're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh my God, no, thank God. I thought I met my dad. and then I felt better because I didn't meet him. This looks great. You know what this actually looks like? This looks like we're going to be fighting each other at WWF SummerSlam 1995. And this is like the red lighting letting you know it's summertime. The heat's coming.
Listen up, Mean Gene.
I think we
you look like you're doing an interview.
Now you're ready to end the
I think it's time.
How long have we been recording now?
50 minutes.
That's called the comedian's hour right there.
Speaking of 23andMe, we just finished the first episode of the next season of Corporate Gossip.
Yes.
And let me tell you, it's 23andMe. That company is, if you ever did a 23andMe, be scared.
Oh.
Why?
Because they're about to sell all your DNA data.
Oh.
Because they've lost all their money and they need to get it back. And they're going to sell it off to the highest bidder.
The Chinese.
Who knows?
Oh my God. I just added in the Chinese. I assume they would buy that. But that's insane. Did you know that 23andMe started, like the Mormons ran that? Like lineage? Like, so before 23andMe and Ancestry.
Are you thinking of Ancestry?
Yeah, that one.
This is something you heard at the dinner party last night.
Yes.
And now you're saying it with such confidence.
What? That's what life is. You hear something at a dinner party and then you walk around and you say it like you studied it. That's
23andMe was started by Sergey Brin, the guy who invented Google, one of his ex-wife.
Wow. But my point is, like, before there was 23andMe and before there was Ancestry, you had to go to the Mormon church because they kept records from like forever. They were like apparently the religion of keeping records. While the Catholics were like burning documents, the Mormons...
The Catholics were like, hey, forget about that. Forget you saw anything.
You didn't see nothing, kid.
You heard what?
And they're they're just throwing documents into this glow fire we got behind us.
Yeah, I love... Describe the Catholic Church in one sound.
Meanwhile, the Mormons were keeping like classified lineage history. So if you wanted to look up your lineage back in the day, you had to go to like Utah and talk to the Mormon church and see if they knew who your great grandfather was. And they probably sent him a Watchtower magazine, or no, that's the Jehovah's Witnesses, whatever the Mormons hand out. And but yeah, they were the original gatekeepers before DNA. So anyway, that's actually a good pitch. Go listen to Mike's fiance's podcast, Corporate Gossip, correct?
Yes, I did not mean to turn this. We just literally did this last night. So when you said 23andMe, I was like, I know all of them.
That's why you were ready to go. Wait, no, that wasn't the Mormons. And then Emma was ready to jump on the bandwagon of, oh, is Zoltan pretending to know stuff?
You heard that over conversation.
I'm always
last
ready
night.
to call you out.
You are always. First of all, that is one of the many reasons I think our relationship works is you are very quick to go, you don't know anything. And then I'm very quick because you know what it was? The first 6 months of our relationship, you went, oh, really? And then you started seeing me be wrong over and over and over again. And after like the 10th time I was wrong, I think you turned to me and you're like, I don't think you know anything. And then ever since that moment, it's just been like, I don't believe you. And then this is our life now. Hey, how far is it to get to LA? And I'm like, well, it's 100 miles, 2 hours with traffic, or 2 hours without traffic, 4 hours with traffic, somewhere in between. And then she's like, I don't believe you. And then she's on Chat GPT, like double correcting me with.
I'm just double checking.
Because you've seen me be wrong so many times.
No, I just want a second opinion.
Ask that guy first, and then go, hey, Chat said this, and then do you agree? And I'll be like, yeah, maybe.
All right, I'll do that next time.
Yeah.
I have to start conversations when I've heard something cool or read something cool. I have to start saying things like, oh, you know what I just found out? Not from TikTok is, and then I say the thing because she'll be like, she just instinctively knows that I scrolled past something. And now I pretend like I know. Let's be honest. I probably did see it on TikTok. Not the point.
Here's the thing, though. Have you ever read an article? After about the third paragraph, I'm yelling out loud, I get it. And then I close the app. Well,
it's also because it's like 14 ads for the last thing I searched for. Yeah. It's like, cool, male thongs, article. Why is this even on Forbes?
Male thongs?
What? You know what's crazy? They're just regular thongs.
What?
I think they can just kind of go in between. Anyone can use any.
You split the difference. Beans on one side, sausage on the other.
Do men wear thongs? Just in regular everyday?
No.
What? What do you think I do when I'm alone? I'm slipping into a thong, working on my yoga poses. No, you know how I found out men wear thongs? Professional wrestling. In late 90s professional wrestling, I mean, they always did this, but like someone's pants would get pulled down and they'd be wearing a thong. Huh. So male wrestlers were wearing a thong back then. They probably still are. What is it, Miso? How's it going? Come on in. So yeah. All right. I guess that's what we're doing. Anyway, is there anything else? What happened? What's happened since we've been here other than pure bliss and joy? And missing Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we do miss New York. We miss the studio.
I miss the studio. I miss seeing Mike.
We miss Mike.
I don't miss the weather.
You guys. Well, it's 21 here now.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're on fire. Not us, but California's on fire. So, yeah.
I'm going to Mexico in a couple weeks, buddy. I am excited.
Sunscreen.
Or we're canceling because Becca's taking IVF treatment to do embryos, so she might be sick. So now I can't go to Mexico. How important are our children's health, even if we have them?
Wow.
It's going to be one of those things where you guys are going to end up going to Mexico in 5 years with 2 babies, and then you're going to be like, this isn't the same.
This isn't your guys' trip. I don't care if you're hungry. Daddy's thirsty.
Daddy needs his sauce.
Daddy needs salsa and tequila, and he needs you to shut your mouth.
Where in Mexico are you guys going?
Mexico City.
Hey, that's what we were talking about going.
Yeah.
You can go see some wrestling.
My buddy's he's living down there for a couple of months, so we're gonna go hang out.
Oh, fun.
We rented an Airbnb across the street from them, so that'd be good.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, who is it?
Tushar. Do you know Tushar?
No.
Oh,
Well, that's the end of that conversation.
that's how that ends.
There's too many comedians. There's too many. Some people.
So too many.
You know what there aren't enough of? Podcasts, and that's what we're
Funny
doing
comedians?
here. Funny podcast. I don't even think I did an intro for the show.
Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to This Week in Zoltan. This is episode 396, 598. Who knows? We got Mike on the ones. Actually, I'm running the ones and twos. Here's Emma. There's lighting that doesn't make sense. There's more lighting that makes less sense. And it's just switched. Is this a Gerard Carmichael special? What is that?
Let me see if I can make it black and white and make no sense. Hold on. Let me try to find the how did I get so famous so fast button. Where is that at? Nothing on that? Okay. Did you not hear what I said? Is that not funny?
I did hear what you said, but I was thinking of what I wanted to say, and then which I didn't have anything, and then I was like, I should have
classic not listening.
Classic. It's so funny.
I got really left on a ledge on that one.
You know what's?
I was like, is Zoltan best friends with Gerard Carmichael? Why the hell am I getting killed
I
here?
don't even know who that is. So.
Exactly. All right. But I find the irony in that three people wearing headphones aren't listening to each other. Like, we can't be more into what the other person's saying. We're like, huh? Oh no, I'm still in my head. I'm thinking of my things. Anyway, I think that's the episode for this week. I promise you guys, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. I realize this halfway through. I'm looking down there way too much. So that's probably weird for the people watching there. I thought of that at minute 49, and I still kept doing it. And we're going to I'm probably going to put a pillow on the back of the seat so that my mid-back isn't on fire the way it is. And we're probably going to lock Miso out, even though her litter box is right over there. And she probably needs to drop a Duke in the 60 minutes that it takes us to record this. You know? Mm-hmm. Any other words of wisdom for the people?
Nope.
Nothing. ZoltanComedy.com. Anything to add, Mike? We got nothing.
I'm shaking my head.
This was
the new website is burrowhousecreative.com. That's the new studio.
Burrowhousecreative.com.
How do you spell burrow?
BOROUGH.
Like
New York.
Yeah, like
the boroughs.
Yeah, not like a donkey.
No. That would be Burro House.
I just signed up for the Citizen app, and I just got an alert that 2.5 miles from here, a man grabbed a woman's buttocks. Where is Bob Hansen?
Oh, no.
His favorite thing is just texting me the word buttocks. Oh, it gets better. Man grabbed woman's buttocks at Hilton. That does sound. That's why I'm a Marriott man. No one's getting their butt cheeks grabbed at a Marriott unless you paid top dollar to be allowed to do so.
And if you're at the Holiday Inn, they're grabbing a lot more than your buttocks.
Oh boy. Crime report up 200%. Good Lord.
I thought we were ending the episode.
We are ending the episode. I'm ending the episode. I love that you still want to run out of here. We live here.
I'm so hungry.
Oh, yeah. We haven't had breakfast. That's the other thing. We started this at noon your time. It's 9. I had to wake up and put contacts in. And I'm like, I have to be on camera in 10 minutes. Emma's putting makeup on. She's getting ready. She's getting out of her sweatpants to put on other pants.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But we're at home. We're going to go get something to eat. Mike, enjoy New York. We'll do this again next week. Love you all. I promise the show will get better. I feel like this episode should start with like the blurry screen, like the test screen. And then it should just go into the episode.
I think if they're listening, they probably don't notice. You know what I mean?
They can feel the anger in my heart. Anyway, ciao, everybody.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Trekking heavy or traveling light, there's one thing that's right wherever I go.